So over the last couple days, we have had a ton of AFL trade news. It's legitimately been so hard to keep up. Like, I was just sitting there the other day on my phone. I was like scrolling through Tinder, something like that, seeing absolute baddies left, right, and center, and just notifications kept coming up of players reportedly requesting trades, meeting with other teams, all of the above. And we're going to be talking about all of that and more today. Again, before we get into all of it, there's a certain big percentage of you guys that watch these videos that aren't actually subscribed. You know, it'd mean a lot. It would absolutely make a chubby 5'8" fat kid's day if you would go down there, you know, by leaving a like on this video and just subscribing to the channel, becoming a bench warmer, so you never miss all of the, you know, the latest content that I'm, you know, putting out there for you guys to watch. So with that all said and done, we'll get straight into it now with some of the AFL trade news and whatnot. We've actually got a report here that does say that Melbourne have inquired about St Kilda forward Tim Membrey potentially joining as a free agent per Sam Edmund. Again, I spoke about this on the channel that I think North Melbourne were heavily targeting Tim Membrey, but my presumption is that Tim Membrey was just getting offered way too much money and a good enough deal to stay at St Kilda, because North Melbourne went the completely other way. Who is Snapchatting me right now? You are cock blocking my video. North Melbourne went the complete other way. They offered Jack Darling what looks to be a 2-year deal, and I just thought that must mean that Tim Membrey is ungettable, but it turns out no. It looks like North are just picking Jack Darling over Tim Membrey, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's pretty funny. What are they doing, man? And this is obvious because Melbourne are, they're interested in Membrey, and this is, again, very, very good for Melbourne. Average for St Kilda, good or bad for St Kilda, depending how you look at it. If you're a Saints fan and if you want the St Kilda Football Club to go on a rebuild and not be stuck in this like 9 to 14th rot that they've been in for a couple years, then yeah, losing Tim Membrey, getting some picks in to help out the first round pick you've got this year and the other first you're getting for Josh Battle, it makes sense. But if you're on the other side of the fence as a St Kilda fan and you think that with a couple of extra draft picks and maybe an extra player or two, St Kilda could contend for the 8 again, then this is bad, because Tim Membrey actually does help this Saints team quite a bit. He's actually a really good player. He's been a legitimate underrated player in the AFL since before I knew what a woman was. That's how long that guy's been underrated for. If you're Melbourne, this is, I mean, a good signing. They have been looking for a key forward for quite a while now, even though he's not generally like the big crash the pack key forward they need. He can definitely do that. He's got a mixture of both. He's a good leading player. He's a good mark. I just like Tim Membrey. I like his game. I think this is a good move by Melbourne if they can get him. And I don't know what pick it would be to St Kilda. Probably an end of second round pick or something works out. I don't know. But yeah, I think this is a good move by Melbourne if they can make it happen. We've got a ton of GWS news that has recently popped out. Again, speaking about St Kilda, it's being said that the Saints could not be more keen for this player. They've made no secret of their desire to bring some of these Bayside boys home. Again, Sam Edmund on St Kilda's Callaghan interest. We know Callaghan is contracted till 2025, and I actually think Finn Callaghan would be a really good player at the Saints. If we think about it like this, right? If St Kilda, maybe this is what their direction is going to be. They're going to use 2 first-round picks this year, hit the draft heavily, and then next year they go after a player like Finn Callaghan, and all of a sudden things start to turn around. It's such a midfield dominant draft. If they can take those 2 midfielders maybe with their top 2 picks, which is by far their weakest thing, their midfield is atrocious. Like, watching Paddy Dow as their second option against the Tigers was disgusting. And the funny part was the Tigers still somehow got smacked. I think that shows the level of my Tigers right now. It's pretty funny. But if the Saints can do that, get 2, you know, top 20 picked midfielders in, you go next year and you target a Finn Callaghan who is really playing some good footy on the wing, but maybe is looking to play a lot more ball on the inside. I mean, yeah, that's a fantastic move by St Kilda. You're literally changing up your whole entire midfield in just 2 years and really revolutionizing it. The thing is, though, I don't necessarily know or think that Finn Callaghan is going to leave GWS. I realistically think they're losing like Cumming, Perryman, all of these players, I think, this year. And with how they're going to be looking at this, they're losing these players, but they're still gaining an ability where they have money freed up over the next couple years for not re-signing these guys. They're going to have money to dish out, and Callaghan could very well get like a big 6 or 7 year back-ended deal from GWS. And I don't know, I think he might turn his back on St Kilda, but that would definitely come hard. Another one here that says they're expecting GWS unrestricted free agent Nick Haynes to make it official of his intention to join Carlton. Haynes is out of contract and can walk to any club of his choice. Again, this is smart by Carlton. I think this is the reason they're getting or trying to get rid of Lewis Young. In a recent report, they did tell him and Matthew Kennedy to look elsewhere. I think Young is on like 500,000 or 600,000 a year. Nick Haynes, they could probably get for like 250, 300k, like the vet minimum of whatever the AFL's version of that is. You could probably get Nick Haynes for, and somehow Haynes is probably still going to do as good as a job as what Lewis Young does when he comes into the team. So they can easily save like 300k off this contract and get a pick in for letting Lewis Young go if they want to go that direction. Sucks for GWS, they lose some depth, but they just were not playing this guy at all, so it makes sense he's looking to go. I spoke about Isaac Cumming, of course, leaving alongside Perryman most likely earlier on in this video. It is being said that Isaac Cumming has told the Giants that he will seek a move to a new club via free agency per Sam Edmund. Cumming is an unrestricted free agent and will move back to his home state of South Australia. Both South Australian clubs have tabled a 4-year contract offer to Isaac Cumming. Again, from what I heard, what I thought it was going to be is, I thought they were trying to, tell Dan Houston, look, you can move because we're going to bring in Cumming and we're going to bring in Perryman. That's what I thought it was going to be. So Adelaide offering him a 4-year deal is kind of interesting and kind of left field for me. I still think he might just go to Port Adelaide with Perryman. They'll play the better position they want to play. I know Perryman wants to play a lot more midfield. He might be able to accomplish that at Port. The thing is as well, if they lose Houston, they gain a first round pick or 2 back for him, and you gain Perryman and Cumming for like near free. That's a revolutionary trade period for Port Adelaide. If they can do that, that's crazy. Again, a bad loss for Giants. They don't want to lose depth to this team. They are, but the thing is, they draft so well. This really doesn't matter exactly too much to them. But yeah, teams keep poaching them and offering their players more than they can afford. It kind of sucks for them. They keep losing these bidding wars because you know how much these players want to stay at GWS. They just get offered ridiculous contracts to go play elsewhere. As mentioned earlier, Matthew Kennedy has been given the green light to explore his options elsewhere, according to Mitch Cleary. Again, they didn't even try to trade Jack Martin. They just flat out delisted him the other day. Being reported that Geelong has emerged as the latest suitor to secure the services of delisted forward Jack Martin. Again, we know as well that his home state of WA has shown interest in Fremantle. They may be looking to add another forward. And what I can tell you guys is, by Callum Toomey, is apparently Martin actually wouldn't even mind going back to Queensland, where he played his footy on the Gold Coast, and would potentially be willing to go to Brisbane if they offered him a contract. So definitely think a couple of these teams will be interested. Not everyone will offer him a contract. Brisbane might not be interested in offering one, but I think Geelong will be interested. I think as far as, the WA teams, I don't think West Coast will be. Fremantle might be. For some reason, a team like Melbourne strikes me as a team that would give like a life chance to Jack Martin to maybe get him to the team. But I'm really not too sure what happens with Martin. I don't know what happens with a lot of what Carlton are doing right now. They are they're losing depth, but I don't think it's like great depth. Like Jack Martin to me was never that good at Carlton. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Matthew Kennedy as well. Losing Jack Martin as well. I don't think it matters that much. Lewis Young, telling him to move on is smart. I think I told another player or two to move on as well. they're losing this depth, but they should be able to recover it if they draft well, which shouldn't be that hard for this contending team to go out there and try and do. They're still interested in Dan Houston. I've talked about that on the channel a couple of times. Where they go with that will be really interesting to see. But again, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this all down below. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest AFL trade content, trade rumors, all of the above. Leave a like and comment your thoughts and opinions. Who do you guys think is going to be traded out of all of these players I talked about? I'd very much like to know. Subscribe to my gaming channel, my IRL/vlogging channels. Links for them will be in the description down below. And I guess I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.